Alright guys, so today we're going to talk about a generic attack build guide that I posted on Wolcen Universe. We're going to go through this together. The link is going to be in the description below if you want to follow with that, and I will go right into it. So this is with a one-hander and catalyst in mind. I think this one-hander and catalyst for attacks is the most versatile of builds. Yes, sometimes you will get more damage with a two-hander. Yes, you will get more tankiness with a shield. But it's really more easy to gear for when you're using a catalyst. If you don't have the max, obviously the max 15 is the best because it gives you a passive like residual energy. But you can also use just a regular catalyst to get access to the spells. Spells like Aether Jump and Lightbringer. These are my two go-to spells. Why? Why is that? Aether Jump. Basically, you with March of the Time Devourers, you will get all of your rage back at any time. So rage is a non-issue after that. On top of that, with residual energy, this will give you stasis to apply, which time cannot heal. So you will get stasis on your attacks. That's gonna make so that your attacks inflict stasis, and you get which time cannot heal damage from that. So basically, it's a passive stasis. It's really good. Lightbringer is a stun, movement speed. This node inflicts weakness and shock on enemies. It's just this is the best overall support skill in the game, in my opinion. You can instantly stun bosses and break their armor, um, unless they are unstoppable. But yeah, this is really my favorite. The Lightbringer is my sleeper favorite skill in the game. Not so sleeper anymore, but a lot of people still don't know how good this actually is. All right, so we're going to tree. We'll get critical damage all the way here, and we get 60% crit chance. This is always good. This is always going to be good. We get a critical damage here and minus 30% damage. This minus 30% damage is additive, so you're losing basically almost nothing to gain 60% crit damage with all of those crit chance nodes before. So this is very good to take. We're going here because we want maximal power and rage, and we want the plus 15 radius for picking up health globes. Not only health globes, but it will pick up the green globes from Undertaker, which is a multiplicative node. So this is really great in combination with this. So after that, we go here. We go take Immortal Offering because it is the one of the best damaging buffs in the game. You inflict ailments on enemies, and you get Immortal Offerings that increase your damage from that type. Very good. If you take Immortal Offering, always take it with Grievous Afflictions. You will now be able to inflict 2 ailments per attack that you make. So your 2 highest damage types are going to inflict ailments. Very good in combination with Immortal Offering. We're going here for Salvatory Anchor and the note past it, Elevated Gain. So this is like one of the best defensive nodes in the game. It's usually used with either 2 heavy pieces, so heavy chest and heavy helm, or 1 rogue and 1 heavy. So you could go for something like Frostweave chest, which is rogue and heavy helm. So you would get passive on every passive dodge you will heal, and you will get double all res from your helm. It's a very balanced build. It's very good. So this is one of the best nodes to take in terms of damage mitigation. Um, we go here, like we said, Undertaker for the green globes. Each of these globes have a separate timer. They stack with each other. So if you grab one globe, this 30% damage increase will last for 5 seconds. And if you grab another globe after 2 seconds, it will not refresh the first one. They just stack with each other in terms of damage, but the timers don't reset when you grab another one. So they each have their own timer. And this note past it doesn't increase the duration to 10 seconds for these globes. This one only works with summons, and it does not work with ghost allies. So after this, we go here, agility, maximum health. This node is very important. 10% crit damage. I always try to rotate the tree so that I always grab this one in my builds. 12 attack damage, 10 crit damage. Extremely good. We have Dawn Spear Striker, which is basically an execute. So this removes 15% from the mob's health. As long as you have 1 stack of Weakness Immortal Offering, which you will get with Lightbringer, you will always execute mobs at 15%. Very good. With this node, you even execute bosses. After this, we go this way. This one is pretty much useless. So we're not grabbing these maximum element stacks because right now, all the modifiers on skills that scale with element stacks, they max out at 30 stacks, and that is 30 total stacks of elements. So we don't need these maximum element stacks anymore. We don't need power of the first man anymore. We don't need all of those things. It's just a waste of nodes. So we go here, maximum health, blah blah blah, ferocity. So this one, appetite for bloodshed, 35 rage generation on kill. This will make you able to like have a good rhythm while you're clearing the map. You have a really good rhythm. You're killing mobs. You're gaining rage back, like kind of passively, because you're always killing mobs, right? So this is pretty good. I always grab it. You could ditch this node because yes, you have Aether Jump to get your rage back, but I just find it so useful, especially to get to stay above 750 rage to deal double damage. So this brings us to our next node, Frenzied Blows. Over 750 rage, you deal double damage with your attacks. It's the like your highest damaging node in the entire tree here. It's double damage. This makes it so that you regen rage instead of willpower. So it goes very well with this. And then we go here, Branded Burst. We grab these material damage nodes in between here. Branded Burst, it's another good defensive node. I really like this one with my squishy builds. Sometimes I use a practically only Branded Burst. And yeah, so you have 5 tenet points. If you're at 5 tenet points and you take these two nodes, you have 100% damage mitigation on your first hit. You take no damage on your first hit. And they replenish over time. So you take no damage, and then you take only 20% of the damage, and so on and so forth, right? So it's really good to take. This one in combination with this makes you tankier all the time, and this makes you tankier sometimes. So when you engage an enemy, you will be super tanky. You will take no damage. So it's really good if you can kill fast, or if you're always on the run, on the move, and you're not getting hit a lot. It's also very good with dodge. Also very good with dodge. Um, yeah. So basically, this one, if you can have some dodge, it makes this one even better. And then we go here, which time cannot heal. This one seems to increase the damage, like seems to double your damage, but it does not. It's usually about like 20% or more. Um, like yeah, 20% would be like if you have like 100% crit and a crazy amount of crit damage, around like 500. So yeah, so if you take which I'm gonna heal, you always take this one past it because this one is multiplicative with this one, so you actually do 120% damage. Dire Juncture, another extremely important defensive node. We're always taking which time cannot heal. So for 2 points investment, you can get like basically another really good defensive node. So why not take it? And it's usually like you can usually notice it right away. It delays the damage. You can heal in the meantime. It's really good. I'm arguing about taking out this maximum element stacks and taking this one instead. 20% force shield regen. I mean, it doesn't really matter. So yeah. And then we go here, maximum willpower and rage. This one is so that we can stay above 750 easier. Because as long as you're above 750, you deal double damage. It's huge. It's huge. Everything that helps this node is good to take. So and then we go here with these like pretty much useless nodes, but we have residual energy. Attacks gain 30% damage from the last spell cast. So that is another multiplicative node. So with your Aether Jump, this will make it so that you can inflict stasis to proc, which time cannot heal. Super good node. Another damaging one. And then we go here for Virtual Stance. So Virtual Stance doubles your damage 10% of the time. With this one, it's going to be 15%. So 15% of the time double damage, it's 15% damage increase, just flat 15%. So super good as well. Okay, did we go over everything here? Yeah, pretty much. So in terms of skills, so we went over Aether Jump, we went over Lightbringer. Um, Turrets. This is one of my favorite one. I usually use triple turrets and one other skill. Um, this is my setup for triple turrets right now. This one makes it so that it can auto-target enemies. You could remove this one and grab some more damaging nodes if you want, but this is a very, very good setup, very versatile, and this is the one I recommend. Gunslinger's Brand, Gunslinger. Another very good skill. Uh, Big damage burst. You could use like triple turrets with Gunslinger, or you could use like Gunslinger with like whatever else you want, you know? Uh, these are all viable skills. These are all viable skills. My preference is going triple turrets with one other skill. Um, yeah, basically that is my preference. But if you want, you could go tank. So when I go triple turrets, I go super squishy, only dire juncture and branded burst. I don't even take solitary anchor. But let's say if you want to do a bleeding edge build, I would absolutely take solitary anchor and elevated gain. I would take all of that. So you're right in the enemy's face. You want to be a little bit more tanky. Yeah, you absolutely want to take solitary anchor. These are my preferred runes for bleeding edge. Let's talk a little bit about Mark of Impurity. This is my preferred setup. It's going to deal more damage than taking the curse stacks because usually you're getting at least, I don't know, maybe 5 stacks of Immortal Offerings. So getting your 6 stack of Immortal Offering is not going to be as much as gaining this 10% more damage because Mark of Impurity is a separate multiplier. Um, this node and this node. This node actually does almost 10% damage, even with high crit damage. I don't know what's up with this one. I haven't done a lot of testing with it, but so far it seems to be almost 10% more damage. So these are the nodes I recommend for Mark of Impurity. So this is for an attack build with like material damage and yeah, material damage, a good helm that gives you a good heavy helm with double all res, and a heavy chest or a rogue chest. If you go rogue chest, I would recommend Frostweave chest, absolutely, to get more crit. So with this build, you will do huge amount of damage. You will have some tankiness in Solitary Anchor, Branded Burst, and Dire Juncture, and you will be good to go. Other nodes that are good to take. Um, let's see here. Archeon's teachings with Bullseye. So if you want to go for a projectile build, Archeon's teaching gives you +1 projectiles to all your projectile skills. And the -50% all projectiles damage, that is actually additive. So it's basically like removing 50% from your added damage from attributes. It's nothing. It's nothing. Um, skills that I really like in terms of projectiles would be okay. So Death Gazer Railgun. I use these nodes to inflict stasis here. So I use these nodes on Dead Gazer Railgun, and sometimes I do a Phantom Blades build. These are my preferred nodes, like so. So this one here, with these 3 nodes, Incendiary Rounds, Protean Aim, and a Promised Bullet, makes it so that it does AoE right off the bat, like so. Uh, with your Phantom Blades, you basically shoot once to inflict stasis with this node, and then you can shoot your Phantom Blades and they do tremendous amount of damage. Phantom Blades actually do a lot of damage, and if you're using a Phantom Blades build, you don't actually need to have Frenzied Blows, because it does not consume Rage. So you basically shoot 2 of those, and the AoE they do is pretty insane amount of damage. So you basically shoot 1 or twice, and you go like this. So that is one of my good setup that I like to use. Pretty much always use Aether Jump and Lightbringer. Another projectile build that I like to do is Havoc Orb. Havoc Orb like this with like something like my triple turrets, like so. So I cast a couple of turrets to go fast on the map, and then when I have a high priority target, I shoot like this with Havoc Orb. These two, so I have 2 rockets because I'm using Archeon's teachings. These are my favorite runes to take with it. Some people like to use this one. I find it very, very, very unreliable, and it aims all over the place. I really don't like it, and I believe this is better. Like so. So the thing is with Havoc Orb is on big mobs, like big bosses that have a very big hitbox, you can actually make your missiles pierce and then hit again with the explosion behind them. So if you position yourself very, very well, you can have a tremendous amount of damage with this. A tremendous amount of damage with this. I would argue on a perfect placement, this could possibly do more damage than Bleeding Edge. Um, on a perfect placement. So in the perfect situation. I'm not saying this is better than Bleeding Edge in all situations. Bleeding Edge is huge damage, a lot easier to use. But if you're into like playing something else, Havoc Orb right now I'm having a lot of fun with this. Um, okay, so we already talked about Gunslinger, Havoc Orb. These are basically the projectiles that I like to use. Oh, no, okay, Stings of Crearian. This can be actually not that bad. The charge rate scales with attack speed. If you would use this, let's say with something like Sovereign Shout, and okay, we need to have a dagger here. No, wait. Okay, this would need to be with a shield probably, but with Sovereign Shout and something like First Man's Legacy, if you can shout, so I would have to equip a shield here. Let me just grab any shield that I have here. If you equip shout, this will charge super fast, and it actually does quite a bit of damage. If you have like it does less damage than most other skills, but if you have super good gear, this can clear trash extremely fast, extremely fast. Okay, what else? What else do we have here? So, like I said, this skill tree is good for pretty much any attack build. Um, on projectiles that you want to multiply, I would use Archeon's teachings with Bullseye. Bullseye basically negates all the effect of the minus 50% projectile damage. With projectile builds, if you're not using also Solitary Anchor, you can go here. Okay, another thing I forgot to say is, okay, if you're lower level, what do you remove if you're lower level? There are multiple things you could remove. I mean, it's all about I don't know which one is actually the best to remove first, but like Virtual Stance gives you less all res and gives you 15% more damage. This one is also about 15% more damage because it removes 15% of the mob's health. I would remove probably Virtual Stance first or this crit damage thing here. Um, I'm not actually sure. I'm not actually sure. If you're going fast, please keep Undertaker globes. It's so good to clear the map if you're going fast. So the globes last 5 seconds. You can get maybe 4 or 5 globes per trash pack sometimes. Sometimes none, sometimes 5. It's very inconsistent, but it's super good. I would not remove this. I would not remove Branded Burst. I would not remove this either. Yeah, I would remove either crit, execute, or virtual stance. That's what I would remove for the lower levels out there. Um, I think that is pretty much it, guys. Let me take a look at these skills again. I tried Welling Arrow a little bit. I didn't mess around with it too much. I think it does damage, but we'll see. I did not mess around too much with Wrath of Buffet either. Maybe we could do something with it. I don't know yet. Slayer's Flurry, same thing. Um, but yeah, so far, Phantom Blades, very powerful. Havoc Orb, very powerful. Gunslinger, same thing. Bleeding Edge, same thing. Well, we all know how Bleeding Edge, how OP Bleeding Edge is. And Avenger Auto Turret, extremely powerful as well. So guys, this is it for my generic attack build guide. I have the link in the description below, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys.